Okay, welcome to JackCanCook. Today I'm going to show you how to make this step by step and make you a nice nachos and chips with hamburger, onions, salsa, and sour cream for you and your guests. This takes about 15 minutes to prepare and cook, so stay tuned and enjoy the video. It's like nacho chips, hamburger, cheese, you got some spices, garlic, onion, salt, seasoning. Then we got our sour cream and our salsa, and 2 bags of round bite-sized chips. And this is a 3-pounder of beef. You don't need this much. You might want to get the little smaller ones, but I'm going to be using this tomorrow when I cook some breakfast, some the meat left over. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our onions and we're going to chop them up. This is the first garnish that's going to go into the And what we're going to want to do is we're going to add this to the hamburger as we cook it in the frying pan to break down the onions. I use the whole stock. That's good enough. And we're going to get the frying pan on and we're going to mix up the meat. Okay guys, I'm going to grab a frying pan. I'm going to use this one here. You'll notice when you look up at the top there, you'll notice, let me just pull out the tripod here and show you guys. You'll see that that's been mounted. I made that from scratch. Holds all the pots and pans. And then I have over here, I have a piece of wood attached to the wall and it holds all my lids. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be using our pan here. And we're going to be adding our ingredients. I'm going to want to turn on the heat first. Put it up to between medium and high, and we're going to get the pan hot before we get started here. Okay, so we got our pan. Get our gas up, turn down there. I want a pan with a lid because I'm going to be like a big lip because I'm going to be mixing in my meat and my onion. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get your meat. You're going to use a separate knife because I don't want to cause cross-contamination. I cut my meat. And then we're going to dispose of the knife. And I'm just going to want to, this is a non-stick pan. So I guess I'm going to use about, I don't know, 3/4 of the roll. Depends on how many guests you got to serve. Right now I'm serving 5. So I'm just going to want to grab enough meat out of here to serve 5 people. And that should be enough. I'm just going to break the meat up into pieces. And we're going to cook the meat through until it gets about 3/4 cooked, and then we're going to start adding the onions. Now this is medium hamburger. It's up to you if you want to use lean, but for me, you know what, I find there's more flavor if you have a little bit of fat in the meat. I turned it up to high. Looks just like that. I didn't add any oil, any butter, or anything like that. Yeah. So now we have that in there. I'm going to spice her up. And we're going to grab some seasoned salt. Just kind of sprinkle it on around the meat. I don't believe in measuring. This type of food is kind of like, you know, any guy can make it. So we got some garlic powder. Take some of that. Sprinkle it on the meat. And then we're going to finish it up with some onion salt. Just lightly sprinkle it on there like that. I'm not going to add any salt and pepper right now. I'll do that when it's close to being done. Mix that up. Now we're going to cook this till it's completely cooked through. You don't want to be having uncooked hamburger because that's kind of dangerous. Salmonella, foodborne illness. You want to kill all the bacteria in the hamburger by cooking it through. Like I said, it doesn't take a long time. It doesn't take much to cook this through. I'd say about 5-10 minutes in the pan. Okay, so we're going to grab our pan. This one's a fairly new pan. And we're not going to be adding anything to it, non-stick, because it's going to be dry chips. gonna want to grab our bag. We're gonna want to spread it out until the complete bottom's covered. This could take 1.5, 2 bags, depends on the size, how many people you're going to be serving. Okay, that looks about right. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like as it's laid out. Okay. Well, we got that all ready to go. Keep rotating our meat until it's cooked through. Okay, so because I'm doing the onions separate, I'm just going to take a little bit of vegetable oil. Mix it around. Then we're gonna add our onions. Okay, so now the onions in the pan. I'm gonna use a different spatula. Just remember, we're dealing with uncooked meat. I wanna just move the onions around, get them all soaked in the oil. That's vegetable oil, by the way. I'm using just a little bit. Okay, well that's doing that. We're on high heat here. Okay, and while that's cooking, make sure the oven's empty. We're gonna want to we're gonna hold a bake, 350 degrees. Press start. It's gonna preheat the oven. Shredded cheese, which is easier to spread down on the meat and on top of the chips, corn chips. Or you can just shred your own cheese, whatever you feel. But I like to use the shredded, it's a lot quicker. You can start to see the meat's completely cooking through. Got some juices going on in there. The only reason why I'm doing these videos is I had a user comment on my Coleman camping video when I made some steak and burgers. And he says, why don't you start showing some, cooking videos? So, I just thought, hey, this is one of the things I usually do. I did this for the kids. And now that the meat is completely almost cooked through, we can just add our onions into the mix. We can mix it in. Oh yeah, that's looking good. You want to completely squish all the big pieces into smaller pieces to make sure that they're all cooked through. You don't want red chunks of meat. When people bite into this, that's not healthy. It can make you sick. Now, if you guys can smell this, smells really good. You got some garlic spice in there, some onion salt, some seasoning salt in there. So, I'm actually going to start recording. I actually have an external mic in this video. I hope it sounds good. I'm going to start to improve the video quality and the audio in my videos. I'm looking at purchasing a Sony AX100 and downsampling from 4K to 1080p to give you guys better videos. So look for that in the next 2 to 4 months. I'll be upgrading the video camera. And I might be releasing some 4K video as well as 1080p downsampled. I've saw some of the clips for the 1080p. And I'm very happy with the quality, and Adobe supports the Sony codec, so it'll be a seamless upgrade, and I'll still be able to edit my videos. So anyway, this is almost done. We got the oven preheating still. When the oven goes beep, we'll be ready to put the hamburger onto the corn chips, and then we're going to add our cheese. So let's take this and start spreading it onto the corn chips. You want to evenly spread it. Okay, so now that we're going to add some cheese. We're I'm just going to sprinkle it on, make sure that every part of this is covered. I think that looks good. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of pepper, because now if you leave the pepper on top, you're actually going to be able to taste it. But if you put it below, it's going to get masked out by the cheese. So this is optional, you don't have to do this, but I like a little bit of kick. Open up our door, turn the oven light on. Oh, can't fit that way. I have to do it this way. There we go, close her up. Okay, now we have it in the oven. We're going to want to set our clock, our kitchen timer on. There you go. So once that's done, 12 minutes, we're going to go take a look, and I might take a look in about 6 to 8 minutes, see how it's going. And while we're waiting for that to cook, we got about 11 minutes. All I did was take some wood slats, looks like fencing wood. I took it, painted it with black paint, the trim clad. I took there's like little eye hooks up at the top, and I put them up against the wall, because if you remove a pot and it becomes unbalanced, it'll start to tilt this way. So by putting them on all four corners, it makes it solid, no matter how many pots and pans on each side of the holder is on or off. So, and then you'll notice the wires that go up. That's just simple wiring, steel wire, and that goes up into the foundation. I got up in the attic and I tied it off on the boards. So this thing is being held on the foundation boards through those wires. And I've had this up for 6 years now, and it's done me well. So it's a good idea to get your guys' pots and pans out of the drawers. And these are all Tefal, like a set, and they're all nice and clean, nice, good looking. And how I used to have this is this lid here. You'll notice there's a hole. It's a steam hole. Now with this set, I took a nail and I used my Dremel and grind it off the end after hammering into the board, and it sits there and it holds just like that. So if you have the little holes in the top of your pots and pans, you can store your lids, glass lids, and they won't break when they're put into the drawer. Now, before I had the glass lids, I had another set. They used to go like this and sit like that against the wall if they don't have a hole. And I have this board, it's recessed out about ½ an inch so that my pots, my pan and pot lids can fit and lock in. And then I put these in here as a decoration, like little eye hooks. And they basically screw into the wood. I pre-drilled the holes so that way it wouldn't crack the wood. Sorry about the baby in the background. My daughter's over with her child and he's really restless, but anyway. And then I just attached those into the studs, and that's what you got. So it was kind of like a little Christmas present for my wife, and then it turned out really good. It looked really nice. So okay, we're about 6 minutes left. Just gonna open the door, take a look at our progress. That's looking pretty good. We're gonna cook that for another 5-6 minutes. That's almost done actually. So in about 11-12 minutes, this should be the time to cook it and to serve it. So you're gonna want to let it sit for 5 minutes after you pull it out, because you're gonna burn your mouth. Okay, so we're close to the time being done. So we're just gonna open up the door. I'll pull out our chips, and ooh, that looks nice. Take it out. Okay, we're gonna close the oven door. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use a pizza cutter to cut it. Like that. Grab our plate. We're going to use a fresh pair of tongs. I'm just going to grab our You could use a spatula, whatever you feel you want to use. It doesn't have to be tongs, but I find the tongs are better because sometimes there's little pieces left over. They're easy to grab. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take some sour cream. This is just the regular sour cream. I find the light stuff tastes like crap. We're going to mix it up. This is a fresh batch. And we're just going to put it on the side. And then we're going to grab our salsa. This is the mild. You can use hot. And there you go. There you got yourself a nice little dinner or snack. So thank you for watching Jack Can Cook. That comes from the, Wong Can Cook. And like I said, I got a couple more recipes I like to share in other videos. So when I get cooking them, I'll take the camcorder out and record it and show you. But this is a really good meal, really good snack. So you guys thumbs up the video, subscribe. You guys have a good one.